Right, let's smash some buttons, shall we?
Oh, when I was a young boy of 2, my dad says, here's what I want you to do. You must always follow
Oh, give up.
and fight for
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
On the edge of the box is Madden. Madden trying to manufacture the shot, gets it away, it's there! Oh my word! What a goal from Paddy Madden! The Irishman strikes again! And is that the goal that's going to send Stockport County back into the Football League?
Just think if I bathe it for a couple of weeks, be fine. Clear up on its own. Hello and welcome to another helping of the Scarf Gower War, your weekly show covering all things county, including, but not limited to, all the news, views and opinions you could possibly need. Not just that though, we also like to tackle some of the great philosophical dilemmas around supporting county. For example, is it possible to live solely off the food and drink you can obtain from the county courtyard? How does Vernon Bear supplement his income for the other 342 days of the year? And crucially, where the fuck is that striker? Joining me to ponder these existential things. It's I've run out of words there. Could have done with that thesaurus this week. It's a man who needs no introduction.
Hello.
Introduction. It's Russ Johnson. There we go.
Yeah.
Could have let the silence go on a bit longer, but yeah. How are you, mate? All right.
I'm not a comedy genius like you, so I just straight in there.
Oh, sorry, you're talking to me. Sorry, I thought there was someone else in the room there. It's not just the two of us tonight, though. Also with us is a man who makes up a whopping 50% of all the Geordies I know. It is, of course, Jonathan the Geordie Hatter. Hello.
Hello, Nick. Hello, Russ. It is delightful to be here as ever, making my 23 to 24 season debut.
Yes, it is. It's his first one of the season. Well, it was only Russ's first one of the season last week. But team's slacking. I've stepped it up. I've got all sorts of stuff ready for tonight. Well, no, that was it. That was the stuff I had ready.
That was it. It's all gone, has it?
Yeah.
Do you know what, John? I thought you were going to say for your 23rd appearance. I was going to say, is it?
Oh my goodness! That may well be my 23rd and 24th appearances, but I think I make it about 6.
That's the kind of autistic level of detail we'd only get from a Ben Walker, usually.
Yeah.
I did say about 6. It could be as many as 7.
The heady hands.
Yeah.
Oh, it's good to be back.
Just on the thing you said about what Vernon Bear may do with the other, on the philosophical questions, on what Vernon Bear may do with these other 342 days. And on the other one of, what we're going to do about striker cover, I mean, that could be the answer to the second question in the first one. He's got physical presence. I mean, I've stood next to him. He's about 6'4". He's about 2.5 foot wide. I mean, in that role, you don't need to be mobile. It's all about backs to goal, shield the ball. It's worth a go. It's worth a go.
What's his leap like, though? Because them boots he wears are too big for him. I'm glad someone has made this connection though between those 2 points that are made in the intro. So,
but that's big men fire though, isn't it? Big men can never leap.
We can't. We famously can't. We really struggle. I mean, if you had a list of things that I'm good at, I'd say leaping wouldn't even make the top 10. It's not like there's a top 10. Bullshit. No, leaping would not make that. No, but we've got loads. I'm just taking Russ's role here, but fine. We've got loads coming up. We've got the Mansfield game. We've got the Crawley game. We've got transfer deadline day. The window is slowly closing. There's a bit of a creak.
It never slowly, doesn't it? Slam shut. Isn't that what they say?
But I imagine it being one of them creaky old windows where you try and close it slowly and then it won't close, so you have to go, and then the pane of glass slips out of it. We're veering dangerous. This has happened all summer. We've veered dangerously into football cliches podcast territory, and I love it. I love it.
Yeah, I like football cliches. Yeah, there's a reason why they exist. Yeah,
better than this shit, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, it's not. Doesn't take much, does it? It doesn't take much.
No. And admin. Yeah, don't forget, like, subscribe, rate, review, all that caper, and also check out our TSBW fan club on Patreon, where you can pay a princely sum. That's a big amount, isn't it?
Yeah, it
princely
is. But
sum.
whenever people say princely sum, they're actually being like facetious and mean a small amount. So I think I'm going to be fine.
Right, the
Football
princely
cliche
sum of
round.
£3 a month gets you early
Plus
access
VAT.
to audio podcasts, plus that, yeah.
I have to
Plus
say that.
Unless, can you write it off as a tax thing? If I go self-employed and sign up, can I write that
I
off?
mean, possibly. I mean, you're gonna spend more of your hourly wage writing it off, aren't you? I think it's probably not worth it.
I'll get a dodgy accountant. I could
Yeah,
get
move the
my,
decimal point.
just go and ask around, and I'll just go to the Pineapple and Edgeley and just ask around. I'm sure someone will do it.
Yeah,
There's a few
Someone
dodgy
will be
accountants in there.
Someone
Yeah.
can be a creative accountant for hire. Yeah,
You
Pretty
can
sure.
get a full range of dodgy professional services in the Pineapple, from what I
You really
understand.
can. Yeah. It took 4 weeks of antibiotics to shift that.
Any more
What's going
admin?
on, Ross?
Well, any
In
more
general,
admin?
what's
Let's do the admin first. Any more admin? Any more admin?
Yes. There's the charity football match that I will put in the episode description, and charity five-a-side on Sunday. I think there's still possibly after players, but if not, you can come and watch me fresh off a train from Liverpool go and have a kickabout and fall over and die. I'm on 4 till 5 now.
Oh, have they moved you again?
That's a good time for Nick. Yeah. I've been moved more times than think of a footballer who's had a lot of moves.
Oh, a journeyman striker. Who's
Tom
Loading.
Denton.
Yeah, Tom Denton.
Probably one more move in him, do you reckon? One more move in Tom Denton this week.
Oh God,
He's setting the top of the National League North alight with Scunthorpe at the moment.
is he at Scunthorpe? No way, is he?
He's at Scunthorpe. I only found out today. I didn't know that Raul Jimenez was now at Fulham. I was watching Match of the Day the other night, and Raul Jimenez has signed for Fulham. Not a clue. Not a clue. So out of touch. I've been keeping this baby of ours alive all summer, Russ.
Afloat.
And I've not had any time. Afloat. Not even alive. It's a float.
Just
now,
afloat.
Oh, cheers! You said I did well last week. You said I did well. You can tell you've got your feet under the table now again. You're getting bitchy again.
No, you did. You did really, really well. Really, really well.
That sounds like you're talking to a child that's managed to not shit themselves. You didn't wet the bed. You've done really, really well tonight. Thanks.
So you mentioned what we're going to talk about. Mansfield. We've got Crawley on Saturday. We're going to talk about transfers, don't we? Because we've had one player in, one player out. I think that's all that's happened recently since we last spoke. Yeah,
just about. That's about the size of it. Yeah, but we have got our correspondent. This is a first for the show.
I can't wait to see this, by the way.
This has never happened before. We have got our man on the grass outside Edgeley Park, Isaiah Kite. Should we go over and see
go live?
What's going on outside?
Yes.
Should we go live?
Live.
We go definitely live.
We're going to go to the transfer centre to go over to him live.
Thanks for keeping me honest, Russ.
Yes. Dead air's a crime, so I'll fill this bit in while you're doing
cartridge. That doesn't look like a transfer centre. There's the transfer centre. Well done, everyone. That's good, isn't it? I mean, the bottom bit's not the transfer centre, but a lot of messing about in it. Should we go over? Because I'd imagine Isaiah Kite is a very busy man. Isaiah Kite, our man on the grass. I'm just hoping people are going to catch the pun.
Yes.
To be honest, that pun that's been 8 years in the making. Let's see what he's doing, shall we? Hello, Russ and Nick. I can reveal that I am at Edgeley Park for transfer deadline day, and a bit of breaking news coming to you. There's actually a car arrived just now, and it is my chicken tikka biryani. So I'll be off. There we go.
There we go.
Into the heart of things, live from. See, some people will be like, "Can you play that again?" But we can't because it's live. Good looking fella, that Isaiah Kite.
That guy's finger on the pulse, by the way. Anything that happens between now and 9 o'clock, the viewers are going to be the first to hear, aren't they?
It'll be here first. I'd imagine we'd have enough time to go back to him twice before the end of the show.
I think so. Depends about the chicken biryani, though, doesn't it? What's going to happen there?
Well, I can't foresee any problems with his order, so I'm sure he'll be back on the transfers
Okay.
for
Excellent.
the
Very
second
soon.
visit over there. Yeah, yeah. We'll let him have that, and then we'll get back to him. Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. I like it. What I did notice about him though, was he wearing a hat? Our Isaiah Kite.
I look like it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's weird.
Oh,
Yeah.
geez. But that's the thing. If you stood outside Edgeley Park for God knows, I mean, he's got another 48 hours outside there,
This
so
is
you're
true.
going to need to wrap up warm.
This is true.
And he doesn't have a tent or anything. I've heard he likes to sleep naked, just resplendent with his nakedness under the moon.
So he's Nesh. Oh, he'll be
Yeah,
Nesh there.
he's,
Oh, no,
he's
no.
well and truly bloody Nesh. Yeah.
Yeah.
But he just gets up on all fours and has a little howl at the moon. So I believe. So that's his method. Who are we to decry the methods of our man on the grass, Isaiah Kite?
Right. Looking forward to going back to him to hear the latest as the evening progresses on this deadline day eve.
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 Friday.
Is it the 1st of September, the deadline? No, it's not. It's the 31st, isn't it?
No, it's Friday. I'm sure it's Friday because they've got to account for dodgy fax machine malfunctions, haven't they? These
Of course,
days?
yes.
Because
Oh,
everyone's
yeah.
still using fax machines to do the deals. That must be a
I-
nightmare when you're a club doing a deal and you have to go and see if Tandy's is open and get us a fax machine. We've got a deal to do. Tandy, no, Tandy doesn't. Radio rental, Rumbelows. Where are they getting these fax machines?
It's
Yeah.
literally the last place where fax machines are used in any kind of business, isn't it? And like 11:58 on transfer deadline night. It's like that's the only way that football clubs can communicate with each other.
If it was an
You know,
email at 11:58, I wouldn't trust it.
I
So
wouldn't
why
trust that, no. Yeah,
send it by pigeon?
that'll be just our luck that we actually complete the signing of Chimanga and Chesterfield have run out of photocopier paper.
We need an alarm. Someone said the T word.
Oh my God,
Chimanga. We need a klaxon going on. 12 minutes and 20 seconds and Chimanga's been mentioned.
God away. If we can't secure the services of Vernon Bear, I mean, he could be a bagger in the position.
Imagine they do that now just to troll us. Imagine they do just announce that Vernon Bear has signed.
Oh, there'd be a bit of a meltdown on Twitter, wouldn't they? I saw they posted before, the club posted something about enjoy a great day.
In the team sheet.
Enjoy a great family day out, and someone replied, "It'd be a better day out if we had a striker." It's like, why?
That's the type of sarcasm I can get on board with.
Oh.
I'm well on board with that. I think, but the worry is, if they do announce Vernon Bear as a signing on Friday, does that mean we've been fielding an unregistered player all these years? We could land ourselves in a whole load of hot water, and that bear suit in hot water.
Oh.
Yeah,
sorry, children. It's not. It's a real bear. Sorry, kids.
Are you telling me that Vernon is not a real bear? Is that what you're telling me?
Have you seen him shit, Jonathan?
Do you know that that since I've killed the Vernon Bear correspondent tonight, have I ever told you how Vernon Bear once called me, with apologies for my language in a moment, a greedy bastard? So this is years ago when I was first watching County, and I went to get mashed potatoes and gravy and a pie at the kiosk at the far end from the teal end of the main stand, and it was half time, and I was coming back to get back to my seat, and Vernon Bear was coming in the other direction, so I give him a nod. I mean, you do, don't you? Give him a nod, and he kind of nodded back, Vernon Bear, and he said, "Nice pie you got there, mate." And I said, "Oh yeah." He said, "You greedy bastard." As in, you got too much there in your plate, you know what I mean? You greedy bastards,
Well, you must be one of the very few people that heard Vernon Bear speak as Vernon Bear, surely.
Has he got a lisp?
Yeah. He didn't. I didn't notice a lisp. He was quietly spoken. But you see, I don't think he wanted anybody else to hear. He was just kind of muttering aside in the air as I walked past him.
I mean, it's a bit rich of him to comment on people's eating habits after what him and
Well,
those
I
greedy
mean,
bastards
it's one of
did
those
to
situations where, you know,
Goldilocks'
like
porridge.
afterwards, you think, oh, all the things I could have come back with, all the great repartee I could have come
Yeah.
back with, you know.
I do that. I
Yeah.
was in the shower this morning. I thought of a comeback to an argument I had 12 years ago.
Yeah. They're always
The
coming back
the
to it.
person's
But,
dead now anyway, so can't really.
you know,
Hey,
I
Granddad,
certainly
I
think
won.
it was a bit of banter, you know.
Light-hearted banter, like Richard Keys and Andy Gray.
Yes. Yeah. If we
Anyway,
do get-
deadline day.
yeah,
Transfers.
if we do get any news, by the way, we will obviously talk about it. We don't. Everyone will hear it before us, no doubt. We will talk about it. Isherwood 1883, good point. Fax machine still used in Japan. I can vouch for that, and I can also vouch for they are regularly used in Eastern Europe as well. Having to do my work there sometimes. I always thought that. Imagine if they didn't have a fax machine at 10:59, and they had to quickly install Microsoft Lens on their iPhone or whatever, and then take a picture of it signed and then email it over. That's just even longer, isn't it? I mean, we talk about technology.
Even the lesson here: get your deals done early in the window and don't be scrabbling about on the last day.
Yes, but it can't be avoided in some cases, can it?
Clearly not. Here we
Clearly
are.
not. Well, this is it. Should we talk about it? Well, should we talk about Mansfield on Saturday first?
No, you're all right.
What at all? You don't? Has it scarred you? Has it? What's the matter?
I was for the second ever since I went out on a date the other week and made a big thing about how I don't let it affect my weekend. I have had two weekends out of 3 since that date where I have been livid on a Saturday night. I was furious. I was furious in the 47th minute, to be honest, because I could see what was going to happen. Everyone could see what was going to happen. It was obvious, and it happened anyway. Just
so you're still livid despite a blossoming romance that could turn into love, and you're there livid.
But that's fine. That's fine. But she wasn't there for the football, was she? Thank God. Right. Imagine that. God, no. No, it was just a bit mean. First half, I thought we played some of the best football we've played in probably in the last 12 months or so. I think that's some of our best football. I think some of the football we played in the first half was better than what we played on that good run last season. But second half, they made changes and we just didn't react whatsoever to it. We just didn't. Is that a transfer? Is that? That's what they do on Sky Sports News, aren't they? Jim White has his phone out.
I'll check if I've heard from Isaiah Kate.
Hey!
I blamed Isaiah Kate. No, it did not appear to be a transfer. Oh, what it was. 2-0.
Isaiah Kite's definitely making a comeback after this week, I think.
Oh yeah. If we do get a transfer, and Isaiah Kite, and we've done Isaiah Kite, I might do an impression of Carve Solokol.
Just a noise. Sorry, is that?
He's like the lead correspondent for transfers on Sky Sports News.
Is he?
Yeah, but have you ever? Clearly, you've never seen him, John. Have you ever seen him?
Do you know what? I haven't.
No. Okay.
Not a Sky Sports News watcher of us.
Are you not?
I like subtitled Danish dramas and stuff, mate. It's not really my thing. I like a murder on a bridge and people walking over fjords in jumpers looking moody. That's my type of thing. Not really into football, to be quite honest.
In the rain.
In the rain, yeah. Yeah, in the rain speaking incomprehensible gibberish.
Saying tack every now and again. And score.
Yeah, that's all you need. That's to be in the Scandinavian police. Those are the only 2 words you need.
All you need. Tack and score.
Yeah. No, I'm not really a football fan, to be honest. I'm just doing this podcast to get into comedy, really.
All right. I was going to say, John, you're all Scandinavian, aren't you? You must understand.
Well, no, I was going to say that I like watching the Scandinavian crime dramas, mostly because it sounds comfortingly like Geordie when I hear them talking. It sounds like listening to like me uncles when they're drunk. You can't quite make out what they're saying. It's like, and And then I realise it's not. And if I'm drunk myself, I try to understand for a while before I realise it's Danish. And so yeah, I like the Scandinavian crime dramas for slightly different reasons than Nick does. Yeah.
I mean, County, sign someone, please.
No, this is what you're gonna get. This is what you're gonna get.
I'll take you back to what I said last week. A mammal with a head, just something.
We have signed
God.
somebody. I mean, we have got somebody we can talk about, right? We're saying, is it
Yeah.
Cotterill from Swansea on loan?
Yeah.
I've got that right, haven't I? Who is I'm going to take Nick's line here through the week from Twitter, a ball-playing midfielder, right? Which doesn't possibly add much to the description of midfielder, but you know.
Yeah, but all midfielders aren't ball players, are they?
Do you know what?
I was surprised at your comment,
Should
Nick.
be.
I was surprised. No.
No, it's true. No, I think Russ.
Oh, Russ has been back on Twitter about 24 hours, and
because I was reflecting on this, and I was thinking that you get a ball-playing midfielder, or also you get a combative, tough tackling midfielder, don't you? That's the other kind, and maybe you also get a box-to-box midfielder. Is that
you do? Yes.
yeah,
that's
but
those are the
that
three
doesn't
kinds of
allow me the opportunity to get annoyed about stuff, does it? So balance things out, haven't you?
You can get annoyed by the fact that we've signed a ball-playing midfielder, maybe when arguably we've already got about 7 ball-playing midfielders, and somebody said on Yellow Board yesterday, "Oh, I hope we don't sign just like another wing back." And I thought to myself, well, there's not so much danger of that because I don't think there's any more wing backs. Like
they're all here, aren't they?
I think we've signed all of them at this point. I'd be very surprised if there's any left. So I think we can get annoyed about that for once. There's opportunities.
Yeah. Back to Mansfield in the second half, by the way. Yeah.
Oh yeah, shit, I forgot about that.
Yeah. Let's try and keep it in some sort of order. So yeah, I mean, we covered it quite well, if I do say so myself, on the
I thought you did. Yeah.
Courtyard Club Call. Yes. Which is an additional podcast you can get as part of your Patreon. So it comes out every Monday into your inbox, and it's available on Spotify now as well. Which we've learned,
you sorted that, didn't you? That was an ordeal.
That was 2 hours of my life. I'm not going to get back.
You're the one who did it, and it was an ordeal for me because I was getting messages about it, and I was like, I don't know how to help you here, mate.
I can't help you. Yeah, I did realise that. I just wanted someone to bounce ideas off. And
you bounce away, mate. You bounce whatever you want off me. Well, not anything.
Well,
not
yeah.
Got in trouble for that last time, didn't we?
We did. It was in Basque, wasn't it? Dirty bastards. So
No, it wasn't a basket. It was a corset.
Oh, was it? Hey.
A bit of lingerie humour there for the lads.
So the second half, yeah, absolutely cock all in the second half. In fact, it took us till, what was it, the 91st minute before we woke up, or something stupid like that.
Yeah, and I mean, call me contrary, but I'd say the 91st minute was a bit late.
Yeah. Oh yes. And Challoner was seething.
I didn't see it, but I've heard enough, and I've seen the highlights, and it just seems like, I guess the worrying thing is that thing of that we could all see it coming from the early second half, and even from the highlights you can tell that we're just kind of under the cosh, and we're not it's a matter of time before we get one and then two, right? Added to which the frustration of which goal was the second or the third, where it's a short corner, and you can see that. Look, I know it's harder to the heat of the moment and everything, but Challoner was annoyed at it, wasn't he? That it's like, well, who's taking charge on this corner kick?
Yeah,
you can see them kind of asking each other who's going to go out here, So in that respect, I thought Challoner's interview was interesting as well, when he talked about did he say we didn't have enough kind of, I don't know if he used the word leadership or just voices or communication on the pitch, which I don't think that's the first time I've heard that criticism when we've been having a bad run of when things are against, are we really stepping up and holding each other to account on the pitch and all of that kind of thing, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. It's the frustration more than anything of not feeling like we've learned anything from last season.
Yeah.
This time last season, and I don't buy this whole. I've seen it all weekend, particularly on that Facebook group of people saying, "Oh well, we always start badly, So yeah, but that's not relevant. We always start badly with a completely different squad of players. We started badly in 96, 97, but it has no relevance because it's a totally different set of players, and it does worry me that lessons and that's not just to go at Dave Challoner there either. That's a go at everyone, the recruitment, everything. Because again, for me, the recruitment feels a bit unbalanced. Is it unbalanced or imbalanced? I can use either.
You can use
This
either,
is where we could do with. Never mind Isaiah Kite. We need bloody Susie Dent.
yeah.
We need Carol Borderman. No, she was the numbers. I don't know.
Strictly numbers.
I agree with you about the imbalanceness though, and I feel a little bit like, okay, if we did just have, I don't know, a manager and a small amount of staff, and then you could understand it a little bit more in terms of the slightly scattergun, maybe recruitment, slightly last minute, maybe recruitment. But it's like, what have we got? 26 backroom staff. How many of them are supposedly involved in recruitment? A plan, a strategy, all of that stuff. I get it. We can't always get what we want necessarily. Other clubs will want players as well. But it's not the first time that we've arrived on deadline day, and it's like, to the extent that we've made signings, I think most people would probably agree that too many of them seem to be signings in places where they're not the places we'd identify we have gaps. They're not the Perth for Kyle Wooden. They're not the left centre back. The other footballers who I'm sure will be fantastic. I'm sure Jack Cutter will look at the young lad who's coming in. I really hope he does a great job. Is a ball playing midfielder what we necessarily wanted at this time, at this particular point of the transfer window? And then you does that make it a little bit difficult for the players coming in, because right from the start it's almost like we've got even more to prove to show that what is needed and everything, right? It would be nice to have a bit more of an idea of a plan and a bit less of an idea. It's like supermarket sweep, like just lads, you got 2 minutes, and and what have you got at the end? Oh, I've got a consignment of reserve wing backs. What's that worth, So.
Do you think some of it is forced through the injuries we've got? I mean, you can bemoan injuries all day, but they happen. Everybody has to deal with them. I must admit, Cottrell does feel like a why have we got him kind of thing deal, doesn't it? We don't need players in.
I feel sorry for him as well, because if he's going to come straight into a team that's, let's be honest, struggling, I think it's fair to say we're struggling. I'm not saying we're going to struggle all season, but at the moment we are struggling to get into our groove.
Click. Yeah, to click. Yeah,
click. That's the word. You're good with the word, you. And if he, I mean, knowing our luck, we'll get another 4 midfield injuries before Saturday, and he'll start on Saturday. But with the magnitude of that Crawley game on Saturday now, you think, well, if we're not doing well early on, people will turn. People will turn. If we go a goal down, it'll get a bit mingy. I'm all for that. I love it when it gets toxic. Grown men like making a show out of themselves. That's my favourite thing ever. And you can't rip. Like, do you remember the old days of people ripping season tickets?
Oh yeah.
I want to see someone do that with them cards.
Yeah, get some scissors.
Shards. Yeah. Has anyone got a shredder? We've not got a fax machine. Never mind the shredder.
Yeah, it loses the dramatic kind of effect after about 5 minutes of struggling with it, doesn't it? Yeah. Yeah. No, I get your point, Nick. It's like an experienced player coming in is going to be able to deal a bit more with that difficult situation. I guess maybe also even as I kind of say these things, I think, look, it could be that we're sitting here this time next week, we're beating Crawley 6-0, like they were beaten 6-0 last week. Cotterill's come in and played a blinder, among others. Because the other thing is, I guess we'll look at the results this season. I mean, I've not been to all the games, but from what we've all seen, I mean, we've not been hammered by anybody, right? The draws have been draws, and we could have won them. The defeats have been by 1 goal. Even last week's has been by 1 goal. Barry puts his chance away from which, fair enough, you can scuff one from 45 yards. It can happen. That even Saturday's a different game, isn't it? So it's that thing. It's such thin lines, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's such thin margins.
Yeah, and I think it feels like we've been here before many times since we've been doing this podcast, and even before that, it just feels like we need some sort of AFC filed at home, that 0-0. Do you know what I mean? Where everybody felt together. I know, it was 0-0, but everybody felt together, and it felt like there was a turning point. And it feels like we need that again. They shouldn't need it though, because of what they did last season. Maybe it's a hangover of the playoffs final, perhaps.
I thought Bradford was that turning point.
Yeah.
Night under the lights, good atmosphere, a good game of football for the neutral.
Ah, right. Okay, this season. Yeah.
Yeah, and I thought that was that this season. I thought that was it. I mean, was it the second week of the season? I thought, this is it now. And then,
and you know what? It's got the script, as in even coming out of it, because okay, it's finished 1-1, but have we equalised with the penalty? And then without the offer, it wasn't another penalty. And then we get is that the one when Hinchcliffe saves the penalty? It is, isn't it, from Bradford late on? So we've come out, and it's a game where it's been an enthralling game of football, and you can kick on. I mean, even earlier than that, because as Russ says, did we even need to kind of click and recover? But if such a thing was needed, even Sheffield Wednesday away, second game of the season, there we are going away. I know what I thought after that game. I thought, first of all, Cody Johnson's the new the new Platini, and secondly, which I still think it can be, by the way, and secondly, that there's a team that you've gone away to, a team that's in the Championship. You put in a fantastic, backs to the wall performance, and you've been unlucky to go out 1-1 with the late equaliser. That's in that position. You a League Two team, you can see them going on a run in their own league, right? But we've done the opposite of going on that run. So it's just kind of confusing. It's just kind of, as I guess it often is, because we all look at it from the outside, but it's so often difficult to just put your fingers on any one thing. Perhaps there's not any one thing. Perhaps there's just a few things that are conspiring against us. Luck being one of them, by the way. Refereeing potentially being one of them, because
we've had a terrible time of it, refereeing wise. I don't like to get too hung up on the injury thing. I did prior to Saturday, but Mansfield had 9 out as well, and they had a striker playing at centre back. So that just wipes out the injury argument for that particular collapse.
It does, and we can't. I don't like bemoaning refs either, or luck, because refs. Although we were really unlucky at the start of last season, I think with refs because they were just crap. This season, I think it's been 50-50 down the middle, because look at Noel. Noel was lucky to stay on against Barrow, wasn't he? So I think it's yin and yang with that. Luck as well. You can't if Challoner starts coming out and saying we're not getting the rub of the green and bemoaning luck, then that's the last thing as a manager the managers say for me is they start bemoaning the luck.
I mean, if anyone comes out and says we're not getting the rub of the green, I might have an aneurysm.
Who was it who said that a lot? Was it the old Chesterfield manager?
Was it Russ? Oh no, yeah. Was it Paul Cook? Did Paul Cook say it in one of his 7 weird voices that he does every interview?
Which part you doing an impression of him then?
That's what made me think of him. I was like, Should we go to?
Oh, are we getting
our man? Should we go to?
Are we hearing
our
something?
Man on the grass, Isaiah Kite, outside Edgeley Park. I've just got an itchy ear. So there's nothing in there. Nothing in there. Let's go see what's going on outside the hallowed gates of Edgeley Park. Cheers, boss man. Just if you don't want to come back again, if you're going to pull a face about it, then maybe bring the coffee on the first time. Well, I mean, we said we didn't think he was going to have any food-related issues, but he has.
I'm impressed with him. He's a multitasker, isn't he? I like that in the Roving sports reporters.
He needs to eat. He needs to eat, guys. I don't know what to tell you.
Needs a sustenance. It's going to be a long night under the tent in Alexander Park.
Yeah. Oh no, he's not under the tent. He's in the thing on the kids' play area that you can climb through the tunnel thing. He's sleeping there.
Oh, you see, that's resourceful. That is. That's what that is.
He would sleep on the slide, but it's not long enough for him. And he got told off last night.
He is a tall guy, isn't he? I noticed that. He's a tall guy.
Yeah. Oh, well, we'll have more from him as the evening goes on. Hopefully, he'll bring us some actual news.
Yes, with a bit of luck. Yes. I'm liking this. It's good. Good content. Wholesome content.
Not doing that. Not doing that every week. Isaiah Kite isn't doing that every week. He told me.
Oh, shucks! You nearly give the game away then.
I'm sure. Well, while we're on it, I'm sure Isaiah Kite would like to thank my friends Emma and Dave for filming him.
I'm sure he would.
Maybe they're there right now. They can't watch this because they're there filming him right now.
Yeah.
Sky looks a bit different. So it
does. I was going to say.
It's lighter.
Yeah,
It's
incredibly light outside.
Microclimate down there, SK3. It's funny. You walk down Shore Heath and it's
that edgely microclimate.
Once you get past the old florist pub, you notice the light changes. What we're talking about, Russ, you've got to remind me anyway. Mansfield is still.
Oh, is it still Mansfield?
Bloody hell.
No, we're going to move on from Mansfield.
Let's
move on from Mansfield. Let's move on to Crawley on Saturday. We couldn't find a opposition guest for Crawley, and I don't think it's very surprising.
I think we'll have the same problem with Salford when that comes around. Shots fired.
I don't know. We got Will, haven't we?
I know he's their media guy though, isn't he? He don't count.
No, does he not?
He's not fan guest, is he?
Well, I don't know. It was, by the way, was it not John Sheridan who did Rubber the Green? Was it?
Quite possibly. Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of very shit, soon-to-be out-of-work managers have used it.
Yeah, that's.
It is what it is. That was Steve Rusk's, wasn't it?
Oh
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
We go again.
Speaking of Steve's managing County, I did notice clearly a joke, but someone said they'd heard Steve Bruce was lined up for the job. Clearly a joke. All you got to do is look at the poster who's put that on Twitter and know that they're joking. I've decided I want him. I want him to be next manager, and I think we should call him Simon Bruce and
mix it up.
Oh, switch it around.
Good, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. I mean, that's not in amongst the best stuff I had written for tonight, to be honest. That was,
you just made that up, that bit.
That was oh no, I used it in a group. Well, I'm in a group chat now.
Oh, are you in that group chat?
I don't want to talk about it, mate.
No,
Jesus Christ. I'm close to making putting an ultimatum in and saying, look, either X, Y, and Z go or I go. But then I'm worried they'll be like, well, see you later then. That'd be awkward. Like everyone does.
I just heard the phone go again. Is that
another not signing? I would imagine.
Another not signing?
I'll check. It's another not signing.
Yeah, still nothing.
Oh. I have got I've got Twitter open just in case something comes through, and we can go live back to Isaiah Kite. Isaiah Kite. Sorry, yeah.
Don't give the pun away. I've done one thing this week. Isaiah's done one thing this week. That was it. God.
That reminds me of people from like Oldham and Rochdale way who say caravan instead of caravan.
Yeah,
that's idiots,
aren't they?
It's just going in my
and
caravan.
Six while 9 instead of 6 until 9.
Yeah, they do say while.
Yeah. That's pretty big, isn't it? Would you guys like me to reveal to you what the product of my research and the Crawley Town's fan base, since we haven't got one of their guys or gals?
Yes, do that.
I was mentioning this to Nick earlier on because I was so proud of the fact I'd done some research. So people know we got Yellowboard. Crawley Town have got a fans forum, like on the internet. You know, it's busy.
They've got the internet, yeah.
But it's there, it's a thing, you know. And I'll just quickly summarize these 4 points that are being made by consensus on their board. And I guess the question I'd ask is, whose board does this sound like, right? So the first one is, so things that people are saying on the Crawley Town website for them is they've been mourning the lack of experience across the first 11 on a match day afternoon, particularly last Saturday. The most appearances were 80 from one of their players. They are badly missing the striker, the big main striker Telford, who has gone. He's actually been transferred, not like one is injured, but you know they want a replacement, they've not got a replacement. They also don't know why in the window they have not yet signed a defender to give leadership, some midfield cover, some left wing back cover, and a more experienced goalie. So okay, the first 3, I'm thinking I've heard that before recently. And the other one, they're criticising the manager. They think the manager hasn't got a plan B. the thing you just sticks to plan A for too long. As I was reading this stuff, I was checking that it was a red board and not a yellow board. So, how people say all fans have got the same issues, and you listen to other fans, it's like, and you look at other clubs and you're thinking, what are they moaning about? They're doing okay. It's like maybe it's all true. Maybe every fan base in the country, maybe City's fan base, are saying, this Haaland, what if he's so? But that's what they're saying. They're not happy. The one point of difference I did pick up, which doesn't surprise me, is that 2-1-2, which is their form so far, right? And they're happy with that. What one of the posters said, if we go 2 wins, 1 draw, and 2 defeats for the rest of the season, well, fantastic. That's us in the table, which is kind of fine for us. So I guess what they don't have, and coming to the county on Saturday, they don't have in particular is there's no pressure on them, right? Not particularly, not like there is on us, maybe. The onus is all on us to win this game, right? If Crawley lose it, it's not the end of the season.
Yeah, of course. Crawley do go in.
That's the product of my research into what the word on the street is down in Crawley Town.
That's more research than we did between us on Crawley. Obviously they're still owned by the crypto bros. So if they do sign a striker before the deadline, it'll probably just be like a picture of a striker.
I was gonna say,
just recycling my NFT joke from last year. It was great stuff last year. I think it was great stuff today.
Great stuff. Oh, getting your own catchphrase.
And they lost 6-0 last week, didn't they? Which is encouraging.
That just gives me a sinking feeling.
The proverbial lashback, isn't it?
They're going to bounce back on. There's going to be a reaction. That's the correct cliche for the situation, isn't it? There's going to be a reaction from them.
Yes.
I saw the proverbial lashback at the Free Trade Hall, and Paul Morley and Peter Hook were there, and they all went and started bands and didn't shut the fuck up about them for years after. It was, we've got all these mugs to sell, but no one's buying them. Oh, let's just put some yellow and black paint on them. Put some yellow. Much like we've done with the layout on it today.
Yeah.
It's a very hacienda deadline day. Should we just stay on air until we sign someone? Until January, mate.
We could take a leaf out of the mother of the Spanish Football Federation president and retire to the nearest Catholic church and go on hunger strike. And we can bring Isaiah Kite with us because he can last longer. He's just had Biryani and naan bread.
I don't know. There wasn't an naan bread mentioned.
Not Vernon Bear. Vernon Bear's not. We're not breaking down for that.
He's not the answer to our problems.
He's not.
Does it have the feel of a must-win on Saturday then? Is there any circumstances with which you'd be happy to walk out of Edgeley Park after seeing a draw?
No, not for me. It's got to win. Yeah,
got to win. A hard one. I mean, let's say it was. I guess if we came out and we'd put in a really good performance, we'd kind of really hammered them, and we had been unlucky, and they'd kind of a smash and grab, I mean, you'd be less displeased, wouldn't you? But I think that it does feel. I would say there's never really a must-win game like 8 games into the season, but 8 games into the season is the closest you're going to get to a must-win game. I'd say that.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I'm not sure about must-win, but because a must-win makes it sound like it is the end of the season. All hope is lost if we don't. But we've got to be beating Crawley. We've absolutely got to be beating them. If we don't beat them, not to say handsomely, but if it's not comfortable after an hour, then I'll start to get jittery about it.
I might come and sit near you Saturday and just film your reaction.
Well, you know my methodology is I sort of go to an hour, and depending on how the game's going, that's my opinion. I take it away from an hour.
Yeah,
I'm impressed with that because I come into the ground jittery. I don't know, and if I'm with my son, young Jolly Hadder, he's like off the scale in jitteriness. So the two of us together, we're just we've got enough jitters to keep the up at tier 3 going between us. You could power the floodlights off our jitters.
I was going to say, do you walk? If we saw you in this cheat lane, would you look blurry because you were jittering so fast? Like,
It's like that Spice Girls video, that two become one, where everyone's just like,
yeah, exactly, yeah.
I'd look
It's
like
Jordan.
one of those, you know when you were a kid and you made those like cartoons, like flicking the
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I'd look like one of them.
And we all have to squint to see that it's actually you. Like one of those
That's
things.
that kickoff. So that's 60 minutes. You can forget about it. We're not 3-0 up. We're not 3-0 up. But I'll take one. I'll take 1-0. I'll actually take, because I think that's the other thing, isn't it? Sometimes when you have a bad run, and actually what you want is to really hammer somebody, 5-0, turn it around. But actually, sometimes what actually does turn it around, and maybe in the long run it could result better. Get that 1-0, say 1-0, close victory, backs to the wall, everybody's fighting for each other, and it galvanizes the team because the teams had to fight for it.
That's what I mean. It depends on how the game goes. If the 1-0 for me, what you're talking about was Barrow, because we had to dig in, we had to get past Barrow, and we got the 3 points. It was 1-0. I want it to be comfortable. Depends how the game goes. If it's really dogged and Crawley turn up and you can tell they're on it and they're giving us a good game and we managed to get past them with the injuries we've got, and they haven't got injuries, they've got a depleted squad. 1-0, maybe I'd be happy, but I'm really looking for us to be like Challoner, not say promise, but he said in the National League, his game plan was generally get goals early and give them the problem to think about after 60 and 70 minutes.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Not this defend first, which I don't think he still plays that. I don't know. It just feels like they're playing that and not him. That's the sense I get.
Yeah.
I get the sense that if we don't get the early goal, and actually looking quickly at my notes, the only early goal I've had this season is Barry last weekend. Then we start to struggle a little bit because maybe we haven't yet found that way of going to another way, and we haven't yet got a settled team, and the other things we mentioned, things aren't going our way as well. But for whatever mixture of reasons, when we don't get an early goal, that's when earlier than 60 minutes really it seems to start to ramp a little bit for us. That's maybe a little bit of the worry, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, there's a comment coming saying a win's a win, doesn't matter how it's won, it's just win. No, that's aesthetically, that's not how I think. You need to win.
Yeah, we're at the point of needing the performance as well now, just to show that we are turning a corner, I think.
Yeah, because you can't get promoted with the ambitions that we've got just by getting wins however you can get them. You need to have a system and you need to play in that system. There might be the odd time where you dig in and you get a win because things aren't going your way, like the old cliche. If you're playing poorly and you win, then that's a real positive. But we need this system to click, I think.
It's a cliche, but for me, like teams that win the league, you never look back and see 25 wins and 20 of them have been playing badly. Maybe 5 of them have been playing badly, right?
Yeah.
So do you guys, when you mention a system, Russ, do you guys do we think we've got a system that either is settled or the squad is comfortable with? Because I guess that's the other thing which seems to be a general critique, right? Have we got players in positions that are the right positions for them? I guess that's maybe 3 questions, but they're all about the system and how well it's working.
So I think if you look at the recruitment over the summer, Torre had previously won, been in the team of the year in this league, playing as a left back and left wing back. Noyle got the same accolade, playing as a right back and right wing back. In terms of the signing, Louis Barry, I mean, he's an inside forward. He comes in off the left usually and gets into the box. Obviously, he's not been playing there for us because we don't play with them. But there's almost a sense of us getting lucky with that signing because he's so good, because he's head and shoulders above everyone else that we can just stick him in the number 10. I love him. They tell you never to catch feelings for a lone player. So I'm gonna be heartbroken. It's like Ben Thornley all over again.
Oh yeah, bloody hell!
Oh, young Nick didn't recover from that.
Yeah, it's like falling in love with the girl from the cafe counter, isn't it? Yeah, no, I love him. I love Barry. I think he's great.
Yeah. So go on, carry on, Nick. You were getting interesting then.
Sorry, Nick. Yeah, go on.
This is the first time for everything. Yeah, so I just get the sense that the recruitment now Nick Powell is too good to be an absolute failure of a signing. He will. I'm not one of these who's writing him off after the limited game time is played, but that just stinks to me of a Dick Swinging signing. Rather, I mean, we've recruited one of the best number 10s outside the Premier League when we don't play with a number 10. Our whole thing is a 4, Crowsdale, and 2 8s, Collar and Sarcevic. That was the axis of the promotion team. And it just I don't know. It feels like we've hoped that Powell is going to step into the Wootton role while Wootton's out, and that's a big that's going to be a red card waiting to happen if you ask me.
It's a red card and without wanting to tempt fate, like an injury as well, because Azid is going to get kicked up his arse for 90 minutes, isn't he, in the wooden role? So, yeah, I think that on Powell with you, Nick, he's obviously a fantastic player. I saw the pre-season friendlies, and it was like you're watching Ferenc Puskas. You know, he's walking, spitting 70-yard passes. You know, dropping on people's feet. He's playing for fun, isn't he? And you know, he's clearly just a fantastic footballer. But yeah, I guess that then you see what we see is we see him kind of looking to find his place in the team during the course of the match, as opposed to it being apparent like this is the job he's been given to do, and this is his natural job, and this is a shape that suits him, and all this stuff, right? Maybe this is all teething problems, and we'll be fine. But yeah, I can't help looking at the Powell signing and thinking, he's a great player. In what part of the manager's plan or requirements did he fit until he arrived through the door?
Yeah,
If you look at the wage that he's rumored to be on as well, you think, well, that could have been like 2 or 3 players elsewhere where we might have needed it. But a player of that quality playing at this level is not going to fail miserably.
No,
as long as he stays positive, which I'm not questioning.
Yeah.
But as long as that's the only thing that could happen, isn't it? As long as he maintains the desire, then he's going to be absolutely he's going to stand out. Never mind just be okay. He's going to stand out.
Yeah, it feels to me like Challoner's got one of those puzzles where there's a piece, a slot missing, and you have to move it around and get the picture right with this piece missing. And almost like in Football Manager terms, it's like there's always an orange player. No matter what system he plays, he's got to put somebody in a position they're not quite used to. And I'm not sure if everybody's fit, that changes. But that's his puzzle to solve, isn't it? I honestly can't see where. Someone mentioned, I think you mentioned balance before, and I know somebody on Twitter did as well. I can't see how the team, you play 4 at the back, 2 in midfield, 3, and then a 1. Where does Paddy play? I don't know.
Or does he?
Or does he? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you play 5 at the back. I'm glad he played 2 proper centre halves, by the way, on Saturday, alongside Horsfall. But if you play 5 at the back, it almost feels like your starting mentality is the counter, because you've got because you set up almost to defend, especially if your wing backs aren't getting forward. So yeah, so proper weird one.
Do you know what?
Ian Dowden says Wootton is the missing piece. I see, this worries me, because if we're not gonna go, and I'm not saying we need to break the bank and go for a striker who's an upgrade on Wootton. We just need some big bastard to knock the ball off until Wootton is back. That's essentially it, and someone who's going to get on the end of crosses. So there must be loan players out who fit that bill. But if we're waiting for Wootton to come back, say he's going to be back in October. That is a lot of pressure for someone. That is a lot of pressure for one player who gets kicked to pieces for 90 minutes every week, sometimes twice a week. So we're going to be asking him to come straight in the team and play for 100 minutes, like maybe twice a week, and expecting not to get injured again. I mean, the injury last season could have been avoided if we could have rested him, if we could have taken him off at times, but we relied on him so much. And even if he is back in October, what's with a long-term injury like that? What suggests that he's going to come straight back in and be the player he was last season? It could be Christmas before he's up to it. And yeah, he is vital to the way they play, which suggests that for me it's unhinged. If we don't get a similar striker in, I think that's absolutely mental. I think that's truly bonkers for a side that's only looking to go one better than last season and get automatics instead of the playoffs. I think that'd be mental if we didn't. I'm hoping because the talk today from Sam Burney is that he's not expecting a striker in, and I'm just hoping something's gone out from the club saying, yeah, let's just make out that we're not, because you don't want to see me on Saturday morning if we've not brought a striker in. I'm going.
But could you not just put Paddy back up there, get him to do a job and play a different way? Because Paddy can score goals.
But that's it. That's the play in a different way thing. That's what we were told over the summer, that we're going to find new ways to win games and we're going to have a plan B. And we haven't. We just resort to getting the ball wide. That Bradford game, the first half of the Bradford game, we were putting low crosses into the box, causing, didn't score from them, but we were winning corners. We were causing trouble. They were panicking. And then, but we just seem to be, if we're going to persist with the crosses, most of the time it is high crosses that we're putting in, and Paddy's not the man for that. Not against some of the defenders we're up against. It's just. I don't know. I happen to agree with Phil Lloyd. If we don't bring a striker in this window, we can kiss automatic promotion goodbye. I do think so. I think waiting for Wootton is just a disaster waiting to happen. That really worries me.
Yeah, I don't think it's a disaster waiting to happen. It's just high risk, isn't it? Because of all the reasons you just said before.
But there's no one. That's the thing. If teams are pressing us, we're having to go long.
Yeah.
And
there's no to go along. Yeah, and I think that it creates the longer that this is a situation and we're scoring like 1 goal a game. I also think that it starts to put more and more pressure on the young, and because they are young strikers that we've got, in terms of Ollie and Barry. I mean, I love Barry and he seems to have really come in and settled. I really like Ollie. I like all of them, but I think that Ollie, you're seeing him trying to hold the ball back to goal. You're seeing maybe the frustration sometimes because things aren't coming off. Well, that's not his natural game, is it? So I think for me it's either one or the other. Maybe it's easy for me to see. You know what I mean? But it's either we persist with the way that we're playing, and you then completely need to get that kind of template of a big number 9 who must exist, or you actually don't just say you're going to play differently. You actually do that, because nobody's going to tell you. Can't tell me we haven't got the players. When we talk about and Dave, an aspect of Chandler's interview after the game, which again I just thought was just, I don't know, it just made me think. He said we knew that Mansfield were going to come and they were going to be difficult to play against, because they play 4 at the back, they have 1 hold in midfield, and everybody else is pretty free to do what they want. To cope with. I guess I thought to myself, why don't we try that? Do you know what I mean? Because we could completely put 4 guys at the back, put who would it be? Crosdale in front of them, and then you've got another. This is why I'm not a football manager. I think you've got another 5. Yeah, 5. You've got another 5 who, just a bit more fluidity, right? Because it's not like we haven't got the players to do that. And when you talk about Paddy Madden, again, Chandler at the weekend said, he was asked the direct question, was that a plan to have him behind the front too? And he said, well, hell no. Like, for me, I'm thinking, well, is it worth a try? Because even just from the highlights, half our chances at the minute are getting created by Paddy Madden taking a slightly deeper goal, and he's got the vision. 1 touch and he's putting somebody in. And if you got Barry and Ollie running off you, there's chances there that are going to get created, right? So
I believe Madden's created more chances than anyone in this league this season.
Wow. Wow. Well, that says to me, there's, you put that together with the fact that he's not got the legs anymore necessarily to play the classic number 9 every week, and you say, well, is that a role he could be performing for us?
Yeah.
Before we he drops deep.
We're getting dangerously close to the end now. So should we go and see if there's anything going on with our man on the grass, and then we'll have a quick chat about Crankshaw as well before we go, because we've not managed to cover that. So yeah, let's go to our man on the grass, Isaiah Kite. I don't. Boredom reigns outside Edgeley Park with Isaiah Kite. I don't think he's having a good. Well, he's got another 48 hours of that to go. 49 hours to go of that.
That's genuine life footage. I mean, no doubt whatsoever.
I don't think we'll do
That
that
one
next year.
particular.
Oh, he's not having a good time of it, is he?
It's good. It's good.
God.
It's
So,
good.
yeah, Ollie Crankshaw gone. For me, it could realistically have gone a year ago. Really, it seems like we've like kept him around just in case we do decide to go to a 4-2-3-1 and haven't. There was the experiment at the start of the season to try and turn him into a striker, which didn't have. It feels to me that all we've lost really is someone who looks like all 5 members of Blossoms at once.
Yeah. Which, by the way, that's you when you think about the dressing room, you want that. You want that figure, don't you? But no, I feel. I guess I feel similarly to you. I've always loved Ollie Crankshaw as a footballer. I love his flair, the way he'll run at his man. He's a winger, isn't he? He's a classic winger. And I guess that maybe it would be dead interesting to hear. I don't imagine we ever will, but it'd be dead interesting to hear kind of how Ollie Crankshaw would look back on his time at County, because there's a player who seems to have been used in fits and starts and not in necessarily a setup that's set up to use a winger. I also feel there's been so many nearly moments for him, which could have been bigger moments, and down to luck. I think sometimes, he obviously will remember the Bolton game with a finish, even as recently as the Bradford game when he could have won it with a lob last minute. So yeah, I look at him as a player. I just wish him all the best.
Yeah, fun memories. I mean, I think he was due to leave. I mean, he went to Motherwell, didn't he? I think was it Motherwell?
He was.
And I think had that had been different, he'd have probably stayed there and he'd have left. I think it feels like we've done him a massive. We've done both each other a favour. It feels like to me, he stayed on because he's under contract, and he's provided good cover and somebody. He's a body because of the injury list we've had, and now this has come along for Alty, and it's probably time to move on. But yeah, I mean, fair play to him. One of the best moments we've had for a long time at Bolton. Against Bolton, so.
That was the first time we touched each other, wasn't it, Russ? We didn't touch each other. We had a big hug, didn't we?
Yeah.
It was a good. It was a rare high point in our working relationship. That was, I think. It's all been downhill since then.
Rare high point.
Just to yeah, I thought I'd just leave that. Just to clear up. No, I haven't dyed my hair. I don't know where this has come from. No, I haven't. Russ has, but I haven't.
I've not dyed your hair.
Just maybe everybody should. Just fielding questions from the readers there, because what my status as a man of the people. People aren't intimidated when they sit next to me to say hello to me. Unlike some.
I did wonder why there was somebody sat in my mate's season ticket seat last against Barrow. There's a lot of comments. There's a lot of comments coming in about are you wearing pajamas again? This is going to be a running theme, I think, for this season. Let's keep it going. Should we just put it in pajamas?
Let's all have an in-joke. I'm wearing my jeans tonight as well. I've got actual jeans. I'm not wearing my joggers tonight. It's serious business tonight. I thought it's deadline day, isn't it? I mean, not like Isaiah Kite outside Edgeley Park in his hat.
In his hat, yeah. Why is he wearing a hat? It's 18 degrees.
Well, maybe it wasn't when he got there. Maybe he'd been at his day job all day and it was raining and cold and windy when he went out in the morning, and then maybe he's been working all day and he's gone straight to Edgeley Park.
What, as a reporter? I suppose, yeah. Yeah, okay.
There's no money in journalism anymore, Russ. It's all it's all your YouTubers and your vloggers nowadays. That's where the cash money's at.
Good stuff.
I'll pass your comments on to him though.
Yeah, do that.
Can we ditch this transfer deadline day branding now, because it's making it a bit queasy, to be quite honest, and the outro thing's not on it.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Right. Technical chat. I wanted you to scrabble around for the outro like I do every week.
Smashing buttons. Yeah, anything else to talk about? County related. There's been no signing since we've been on air, so
County related now. Anyone, should we club together and sponsor the team sheet? Get our name out to the 50 people who bother still getting
read
team
it.
sheets in this day and age. That'd be good, wouldn't it?
Yeah, we could do. We could do.
I was
That's all I've got. That
this afternoon, I was half expecting like Liam to put a tweet out at like 4:45 saying like, "Oh well," after the Crankshaw departure, and then put a tweet out saying, "Oh well, we've made you wait long enough, County fans," and then everyone would be like, "Oh, it's a signing," and then it'd just be like, "Oh, Jamaican McCrazy, we've got Goat coming on at the courtyard on Saturday." I was hoping. So Liam, if you want something to do tomorrow, there you go.
yeah, boil some piss. What about getting the reses? We didn't do it last week. Should we do it?
John Billsbury has recommended a very good suggestion for getting
Yes.
reses. I mean, as someone, as a man myself who doesn't indulge in soft drinks at the football, because neither will Russ be. Now, what have you found in your drink, mate?
Don't know, but I'm not drinking it.
Well,
just something. Anyway, carry on.
Move on from it. What was in it?
It was some, I don't know, it looked like a bit of dust or fluff or something. Anyway, carry on. It's okay.
Maybe Isaiah Kite's been putting his reefer spliffs out in it. Maybe that's our man on the grass. Yeah. So thank you.
By the veal.
Yes. So John Billsbury has suggested the fact that the lids get taken off your bottles of pop these days. Now, I'm reliably informed it's in case there's some sort of situation where they have to evacuate, and if they roll onto the steps and you stand on them, you'll slip. But I mean, just don't slip. That's the solution to that, isn't it?
No.
You'll lose your fizz.
Yeah, that can get in the reses for me. I mean, it's so they don't use them as missiles, is it?
That's what I don't.
No,
I have to say.
I was told it's so you can't. So if you step on it, if you step on it when there's no lid on it, it'll just crush under your feet and empty. But if you step on it with, I'm not saying that's the excuse. That's a valid excuse, but that seems to be it. But from people who've had this happen to them, it seems as though the staff don't know why either. The staff are just like, I've just been told.
What you're saying is plausible, isn't it?
That's the reasoning I've been getting. Apparently, that's what they do at a lot of bigger grounds. Apparently.
Right. Well, we're not here to debate that. It's whether it gets in the reses for getting you.
Oh, it gets in the reses.
It gets in the reses, doesn't it? I think we're agreed on that.
What happens with the new? Because the new bottles, they come with the lid already attached. The lid's still attached, isn't it? For easy recycling, if you're into that sort of thing like me. Because just to care about the world.
Yeah, don't know.
So what happens then? What happens then? I mean, the lid has to go on my hip flask.
We've asked the club's head of evacuation operations.
Well, maybe the head of evacuation operations and the head of beverage serving can.
They need to be in the same room. They need a Teams meeting together. That's what needs to happen.
Yeah. Last bit of well, I've noticed a lot of people have been taking their own lids now. That's a good thing to do. No, I'm not even joking. People are.
No, they've not.
People have. John Billsbury, for one, has done that. He said.
Oh right, that's a great opportunity for the urchins of SK3, isn't it? You know, like kind of a mind your car for you. It's this season's version. You know, mate, 50p for a lid. You could have a selection of them in your pockets, couldn't you? Various sizes.
I've got Fanta Iron Brew or Diet Coke.
So that's definitely going in the reses. The other one, I've not thought of anything, but it's coming through the comments. Short corners. Now, generally,
no.
What?
No.
Short corners against. Short
corners are not going in the reses. No.
Okay.
Statistically, done well, a short corner has more chance. There's a half man, half biscuit lyric where they say, "I cheer for a corner. I don't know why they rarely lead to a goal," which is spot on because they do rarely lead to a goal. But with a short corner, you're drawing the players out. If you just drift in the corner in there, everyone's going to stand on a man. But with a short corner, if you do it right,
Yeah.
then
So
there's going to be some space made. So I'm not putting them in the reses.
Okay,
Nothing you can say can.
right. Well, no,
save me alive.
hear me out. Hear me out. What about not putting short corners in, but how about poorly planned short corners?
Oh, of course, yeah. But
They
poorly
go
planned
in the
everything goes in.
Yeah,
P-
yeah.
Poorly planned free kicks, poorly planned short corners, poorly planned contraception, all of it
All
in the reses. Anything poorly planned beverage serving reses.
yeah.
Let's just take it as read that poorly planned things are going. Poorly planned is a really hard phrase to say, especially when you're doing it like 5 times in 20 seconds, like I just
Yeah.
did.
So let's
That
carry
in
that
itself is poorly
forward.
planned.
Let's carry that forward into the future podcasts that we do this season. Getting in the reses, what we need to decide is, do we put poorly planned in front of it or not, and does it go in the reses based on that? There you go.
Poorly planned podcasts, I say. Ooh,
Well, they get in the reses.
you know what? Yeah.
Right.
Ah.
There you go. 7% of corners lead to a goal.
Half man, half biscuit, right as always. Yeah.
On that, as most things.
Yes. The greatest band this country has ever given the world. Lucy's going to be like, now what about Oasis?
Oasis and Dove say and Stone Roses.
I do think that on short corners, whenever the opposition gets one, it always scares the shit out of us. Whenever they do that.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Oh my god, they've got a plan here. There's 3 of them. Oh my god. And some there's one of them like dribbling into your penalty area, like shit. And you can see the defense. You know, I understand why they panic because that's not what we were expecting, right? That's like a
Yeah. Well, that's it. So it's well planned short corners that scare the shit out of you, isn't it?
Yeah. But that's it. I always assume that the opposition's short corners are well planned. You see.
Yeah.
I don't think they need to be well planned to score past us. I think
they just have to be short. They just have to be less than 6 yards.
But one last thing on the poorly planned thing. Poorly planned pizza cooking, constantly burnt now in the Cheadle End. Sorry, there was pizzas in the Cheadle End.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Whoa. I mean, normally I wouldn't see that as a football food, but
no, it's not a football food.
It's like nachos at the cinema, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you been to Everyman Cinema in Manchester? They bring out, so they've got like a nice little swish. Well, I say swish. It's upwards of £8.50 for a cocktail, so that's swish as far as I'm concerned. And you can order your when you get in the screen. They come over and take your orders of food, but they don't bring the food until the film starts. So I ordered burger, and I'm just eating a burger in the dark. Just can I put that in, please?
Yeah. Poorly planned. Yeah. Yeah, we can put that in. Poorly planned player. Poorly planned player recruitment.
Yeah,
poorly planned player procurement. There you go. Poorly planned player procurement. Can you say that?
All the P's. Poorly planned player procurement.
There you go.
The life of the wife is ended by the knife.
There you go. Yes. Got to give it the podcast title. Poorly planned player procurement.
Yeah, but the clip ain't that funny, is it? That's the thing. It's more focusing on the funny clips here, Russell.
No, don't do the funny clips. Right, should we wrap it up? Should we wrap it up?
No, we'll have this production meeting right now. The funny clips are the best thing I do.
Shall we wrap it up?
Yes.
No signings while we've been on air. What have we learned?
You reckon Liam's gonna? I bet there's a signing, and literally the second this finishes,
he's a right little. Ooh.
He did. He was apparently he was at the Chris Butty Festival on Monday at Basque.
Oh, at Basque.
It's like Heat Magazine this now, isn't it? It's like spotty. Liam Richardson enjoying a delicious frazzle sandwich.
He's a one, isn't he? He's a one. I don't know. Yeah, he's probably going to do that, isn't he? Right. John, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been absolutely lovely to come on and make me 23-24 debut. Thank you so much. I would love coming on here so much.
Before you go, Away Day show is a week on Saturday. Am I right?
Oh, I thought you'd never ask me.
Or 2 weeks on Saturday.
So, do you know what? Yeah. So just quickly, the Away Day show, which for anybody who hasn't yet seen it, is your essential Saturday morning build up to the afternoon game. music and chat, get the county conversation going, encyclopedia look into the away town, etc., is returning not for the 9th of September game, but for the 16th of September game, which I think is MK Dons, just because I've been away on a holiday and I'm away on the 9th. But, a bit of music, bit of chat, and a pulse taking the, what do I call the thing? The poll taking the pulse of the county nation, the results of which will be revealed on the show on some matter of topical import or timeless triviality. So there you go. It's coming back. It's coming back. Yes.
The county nation.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Can't wait to get back. Can't wait to get back on air.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Nick, when's your Dave Smith Never Existed show out next?
And next, we're going to record next week, so it'll be out later next week. Yes, we're going squad. We're having a bit of a squad number route around. Having a route around at some of the more questionable squad numbers in county history.
Nice. Does that include
looking at you, Kyle Noyle?
Yeah. Is it going to include the National League North era? Obviously, where we
yes, because I've got a few words on Danny Lloyd wearing number 3 one day.
Yeah,
that happened one day. I've got a few words on that, but I think we'll mostly stick to the actual football league mandated squad numbers. Yeah, got one from last season to get in, and then we'll be going all the way back. Yeah, I'd imagine John Hardiker wearing number 10. We'll discuss the eternal question: does John Hardiker being a defender wearing number 10, does it make it okay because he scored those 2 goals against Man City?
It confused the shit out of me.
I'll give you that's just that's non-negotiable. That one.
I'm starting to think it might be fine.
Yeah, and the Courtyard Club Call will be back on Monday, so we'll be recording deep diving on the Crawley match. Hopefully, there's lots of goals to deep dive on in the right end of the net.
Bloody hope so. It'll really ruin my weekend. I've got to go to Liverpool on Saturday night and see my lady friend, and I don't want to be doing it. I don't have a third Saturday out of 4 being in a foul mood on a Saturday. That'll be horrible.
Yeah,
and then there'll be other football fans on the train as well, won't they?
Oh God, yeah.
Coming back having won their games. Yeah, the horrible bastards. And they'll make fun of me because look at me.
just put your hat on. Just get Isaiah's hat and put it over your head, and just
like that. Yeah. He's got 2 hats. Isaiah has. He tells me. Yeah. He left one in the pub the other week, so he previously had 3, but now he's got 2. So dwindling.
Yeah.
Well, he's been on the grass again, hasn't he?
Yeah, wearing hats in summer. Right, let's leave it there. Cheers, everybody. Please like and subscribe and rate and review. It helps us with our algorithms and numbers, and we will speak to you soon. See you later. Oh, I've not even got the bloody... Hang on a minute. I'm not even going to edit. There we go.
This episode of the Scarf Bagara War was written, recorded and produced by Russ Johnson and Nick Lee. The music on the opening titles was produced by Dan Johnson. Subscribe wherever you get your content, as well as finding out how to join the TSBW fan club. Check out the links in the description or go to allthews scarfbagarawar.co.uk.